Another blast from the Independent Conservative. New Year, same problems. My New Year's resolution is to try and save our country from itself and its enemies, both internal and external. To do so takes lots of money and notoriety, and I am asking for your help on both. I am a co-author of the most definitive book on the subject of the original amendments to the Constitution. It gives us the facts and information to understand and verify the fact that Article the 1st was ratified and should be enforced. Here is the restored answer, in black and white. After 35 years in the political arena, I believe that this is the only way left to the citizens of this country to save itself from a government run amok. I am asking you to buy the book, not only to support this cause, but to see for yourself the real facts and information that have been lost since 1792. Look for How Less is More, the story of the real First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Available on Amazon, ASIN number 154254835. Go to youtube.com/AllenMarshall6 to see multiple related videos. Please subscribe and share them. I am on Facebook and will have new websites up eventually on firstamendmentfreepress.com or .org or net. If you get YouTube on your TV, you can watch them there as well without squinting. Chapter 4 will be up soon, as well as further chapters. Now, with this disclosure, let me explain my position. As citizens, we have been taught that we have control of our government by the use of the ballot box, the soapbox, and the media. Unfortunately, the little control that we as citizens had has disappeared, leaving us with no voice and no power. Sure, you are still allowed to protest, write letters, and maybe even help getting someone elected. But the problem is much, much deeper. The basic problem is the United States Congress, both the House and the Senate. Our representatives have forgotten what they are supposed to be doing for the country, not to the country. They literally spend half their entire term panhandling and raising obscene amounts of money for their own re-election, while only voting to enrich themselves and their friends and sponsors. The average congressman is charged with representing 750,000 citizens, and an unknown number of non-citizens as well. If you think that your angry or polite letters and emails will have more than a 1 in 3/4 million chance of even being noticed, you are wrong. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning. I have, but I am luckier than most, than to have any effect on Congress. Let me demonstrate how bad Congress has become. By now, everyone is aware of the Russian-Ukrainian war and the ongoing disaster in the Middle East. Instead of 100% standing behind our allies in a unified defense, Congress continues to stall and put out completely confusing and disheartening messages to the world, thereby sabotaging their valiant efforts and weakening our own country. And make no mistake, our perceived weakness only encourages our enemies and the enemies of freedom. Even our sleepy commander-in-chief has now had to twice bypass Congress to aid our allies, and is finally understanding what is truly at stake. Here is a close-to-home example of what is wrong on multiple levels. I now live in South Carolina, and this year some 20 or so brave legislators drafted a bill, H3539, the South Carolina Sovereignty Act, that in short would prohibit the implementation of unconstitutional federal orders at the state or local level. But here's the problem. It looks like a very positive bill for South Carolina, but it has had no action in the House in almost a year. Where are the other 104 legislators on this bill? It's never been brought to the floor or debated. I understand the job is a part-time 4.5-month gig for $10,000 a year. But can't they even attempt to appear to be working for the citizens of South Carolina? Even signing your name and becoming a co-sponsor would at least show minimal care and effort. They all know, or at least are supposed to know, that many of the laws, rules, and orders coming out of Washington are by their very nature unconstitutional. Yet they take no action, thoroughly understanding that their actions will have no effect on Washington, while damaging their own fundraising and re-election chances. That's why, with each member of the South Carolina House representing only 42,000 citizens, nothing changes. I believe, and with the thousands of documents that have been found, indicate that Article the 1st was ratified at the latest by 1792. Those facts brought forward in our book and in federal court in 2017 indicates that the House of Representatives has been operating unconstitutionally for all these years. I don't expect any changes to take place prior to that date, yet it should be enforced and change our Congress and political system with all due speed. It is of great note that since its publishing in 2016, the facts presented in the book and in federal court have never been challenged or refuted, just never been allowed to be heard in open court. Article the 1st would, by its very nature, by having one representative for no more than 50,000 citizens, 1. Would stop the illegal gerrymandering of voting districts, giving back the power of the ballot to all the people. 2. Would fix the Electoral College. Would take big money out of Congress and away from the political parties. Would stop the unconstitutional delegation of powers among the 438 federal agencies and myriad sub-agencies. 5. Would allow citizens to have direct contact with their representatives. 6. Would allow citizens to become their own representatives. And this would change the nation. It's late, but it's not too late to help yet. Available on Amazon ASIN number 154054835.